Hey there, my name is Alex. I am the Silver Mont, and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls 3. Well, let's not waste any time and get right into it. And after the intro cinematic, we'll make a character and I'll give a little reasoning for why I'm doing this. But let's get it going. And if I remember correctly, because it's been a few years since I played this game, pressing new game sends it right into the cinematic. So sit back and enjoy.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital, Yom the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Well, and there we have it, our little intro cinematic. And I apologise for that random bloom. That's from my reshade thing I have going on. I also apologise because this is probably going to sound weird when I start typing in my name. There we go. The vibrations from that probably made the microphone go crazy. But, well, here's Dark Souls 3. Let's make our character. Gender doesn't really matter in this game. Makes no difference other than the sounds you make. Will stay male. Age, yeah, we'll stay young. Class, this does make a difference. I'll go through them real quick, but I already know which one I'm going to play. Arguably, Mercenary is one of the better ones because these weapons are very good, but you can get them anyway. So whatever starting class you pick, you can always get the items in the game anyway. And it doesn't lock you out of anything, it just determines your starting equipment and stats. Probably my favourite one, the Warrior. I like the Herald a lot too. I like spears. Not so much in Dark Souls though. Thief. Assassin. But we're going to start with the classic, the Knight. Doesn't that armor look so great? All of the Dark Souls games and Demon Souls, they always have great starting Knight equipment. If I had to pick a favorite though, it would probably be this one. Like, this is the starting gear, but I think it's some of the best looking gear in the game. Looks practical, looks rugged, and you got this, like, fashionable green scarf thing. Alright, we'll start with Knight. I don't need to gush over that for 5 hours. Burial Gift. You know what? I forget if any of these are particularly better than the others. I remember in Dark Souls 2, I always took the Mystery Gift. Dark Souls 1, the Key. Dark Souls 3, the game I've played the least. We'll go with the... I don't know, let's go with the Life Ring, why not? Base presets. Now, I think I did save an appearance the other day, just so I wouldn't have to spend a while going around it. Here we go. Looks kind of like Griffith, huh? Not a character I would usually make. I usually prefer more of like a... how to put it? Not this looking character, but... I figured I'd try and make it look like the picture I have in my, what is it, avatar on YouTube? Because people always ask me, who is that character? It is Dio, not Dio Brando, Dio Heraclea from The Last Exile, which just happened to be the picture I was using at the time I made my YouTube channel, but now I'm kind of stuck with it, but yeah, I don't mind. If I'd made my YouTube channel a day earlier, I would have been using Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But, you know, I think that's everything for making character. We're going with Silver Mont, the Illiterate Undead, 3. Actually, you know what? How about that? Yeah, that looks more old-timey. And quick backstory for that in case you aren't aware. When I did my first ever Let's Play, I was pretty... well, I wouldn't say nervous, but there was a certain degree of that. And when I was typing in the name, instead of Silver Mont, I typoed it as Silver Mont. But, you know, I embrace my foolishness, so we go in with it. Right, let's hop in game. Oh, don't think I'm forgetting anything. There you go. That's your intro cinematic. I kind of like that one, can't lie. But yeah, we are playing this on PC. I'm controlling it with a Xbone 1 gamepad. We have no real mods installed other than a visual mod, which is just to... I'm assuming this will show up in the video. This is how the game looks by default. And this is how it looks with the reshade on. But let's get to it. So, why am I doing another Dark Souls 3 Let's Play? Well, when Dark Souls 3 came out on, I got a review copy on PlayStation 4, I want to say. And I played through the whole game, and then immediately after I made my review, I started doing a review as well. Sorry, a Let's Play. But I basically played through the game once and then played through it again immediately after. I wasn't really enjoying it all that much from burnout, because, you know, I had a very limited time to complete the game and then review it, and then also start working on a Let's Play. It Also, here's, I don't think we start with binoculars in this game, do we? No, we don't. But here is, well, not necessarily Oscar of Astora, but a knight very reminiscent, in the same pose that we found Oscar in the first game, where he had been presumably smashed through the roof or fallen through the roof and his bones were broken. This time he seems to have cracked a Lord Vessel looking replica with his head. Who knows, could be the actual Lord Vessel for all we know. But yeah, so first time I did Dark Souls 3, I was just kind of burnt out, and also there was an issue with that game, how to put it, when you started playing it, or no, that's not fair to say. Prior to the game launching, before it was available to the general public, there was an issue with it, where the frame rate was really bad unless you were playing online. I know, that makes no sense, right? Why would being offline or online affect the frame rate? But being offline gave you, like, 1 frame per second. Okay, not that. I mean, you can go and watch the old Let's Play if you want. Get an idea. But it was really bad. And, of course, the servers weren't online, so I had to be offline. So that contributed part of it. And in general, Dark Souls 3 is my least favourite of the trilogy. I don't think it's a bad game by any means, but I just found it a little too safe. I think they played it too safe compared to Dark Souls 1 and 2. But again, I don't think it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. Now, as for the story, well, I mean, I feel like they more or less spelled everything out for us, but the Lords of Cinder aren't doing their job, so we have been woken by the bell. Our character is undead, unkindled. Let's see if I die to this thing. I probably will. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played. Last time I played Dark Souls 3, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe? And, you know, the interesting thing is, I actually did try and record another Let's Play a few years ago, and I got maybe 3 parts in before I just completely lost interest. I just wasn't enjoying it. Oh dear. I thought he was critical then, but I think he was just staggering. That's okay though. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 had a thing where when you hit enemies enough, they will become staggerable, and you can get like a critical blow on them. But like I said, it's been a while. Okay, he was. We get ourselves a free Titanite scale. Soul of an Unknown Traveler, basically just an item. When you pop it, you will get currency. Souls are the bottom right currency. We've got 4,000 of them at the moment. Used for leveling up, buying equipment, upgrading equipment. More or less your one big currency in this game. Do we have the life ring equipped? We do. Now, if you are a first-time watcher of the channel somehow, hello. My name is Alex. Silver Mont is my YouTube handle. If you are a long-time watcher, then well, come back. I was going to say, well, welcome back. But then I played myself like a fiddle. Just like Dark Souls 1, we start overlooking some mountains. We're very high up. Dark Souls 1, of course, we started in the Undead Asylum. This time we start in the Cemetery of Ash? I want to say that's what this area is called. Yes, Cemetery of Ash. Gosh. What can we see from here? That's always a nice thing about the Souls games. You can, for the most part, you can see things long before you reach them. This particular area, not so much. All we can really see is the high wall of Lothric. I don't think we can see anything out there, because it's all on the kind of the other side of things. Of course, we can see Firelink Shrine. This prominent bell tower. Very good. And yes, someone is outside banging a stick, it sounds like. Yeah, I apologize for any sounds that my microphone picks up that I have no control over. It's been a long time since I've done any Let's Plays, and I am in a new home now. And I live quite close to a railway, so sometimes, you know, trains will come by. I don't know if those will get picked up by the mic, but we'll see. And Dark Souls 3, I have very mixed feelings about this game. I think it's a good game. It's just, they did a lot of things that I disagree with, personally. My main issues were how it felt very spammy to me. Oops. What do I mean by spammy? Well, primarily this. A lot of the game just became R1 spam over and over. And it felt like the game was weighted towards weapons of this sort of speed. Like, faster weapons just felt much better than any other sort of weapon, in my opinion. Shield enemy, we break his guard, and then we critical him. Which maybe was the case because Bloodborne came out before this game, and Bloodborne was also weighted towards much faster gameplay than what we were used to at that point. Now, personally, for me, I prefer the slower combat in the Souls games because that's what I felt suited them better. I don't mind fast combat in games, though. I love Ninja Gaiden. Here's our first boss. And by no means do I think this game has bad gameplay. I just preferred Dark Souls 1's. And I'm probably going to be dying a lot in this playthrough because I'm just not very good at Dark Souls 3. I'll give tips where I remember them, but honestly, this isn't like a walkthrough, shall we say, because I'm not an expert at this game. Udix Gundyr. That is how that is pronounced, incidentally. Udix. Gundyr, I assume, is just Gundyr. This is kind of where the game started to go, I wouldn't say wrong for me, but I played this game several times before it released, and when I got here and that happened, I was like, okay. I just didn't particularly enjoy the way some enemies in this game were so massive that your camera would be like this. Nameless King. Well, we'll get to him in a while, but oh my goodness. One issue I have with this game's visuals, the anti-aliasing is not on point, I believe. Motion blur off. Everything else we more or less have maxed out. I hate motion blur. Anti-aliasing is just on or off. And anti-aliasing is where, say you have a line of pixels going diagonally, they're all squares, right? So they'll look like a series of squares. It means things look jagged. Anti-aliasing is ways to sort of smooth and blur them out to make things look less sharp and jagged. And it's something I'm personally quite sensitive to, because it, like, the shimmering of it can hurt my eyes. Nope. That's what we want. Oh, I wonder where our first death will be. And I know some people will be thinking, oh, why aren't you playing, you know, one of these special total conversion mods people have made, like there's one called Champion's Ashes. How to put it? I think the people who did that have a lot of talent, and they've clearly put a lot of work into it. And I think it's really cool how they added a bunch of weapons into the game from Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne. It's all really cool, and armor sets. I just don't personally like it when people try and rebalance games, because in my opinion, most of the time they get it wrong. And I'm sure there would be some improvements, but other things I feel would just bug me. And it's also something designed primarily for PvP. I have zero interest in PvP, and I think people who are obsessed with PvP are kind of... I'm not going to say they're wrong for enjoying it. I'm just saying PvP has never been a focus of these games from a development standpoint, and it's always been quite flawed in its implementation. It's a fun distraction, but it's not like a competitive thing, and people who treat it as a competitive aspect, I feel they are slightly misguided there. Just because these games aren't balanced well enough, and a mod that's whole purpose is to try and balance it kind of proves my point. Ow, ow, ow. The pain. This dude, he's probably going to be the first death. I believe pushing him off the edge was usually the way to go. This guy has got a lot of stamina. So we're gonna back up a little bit. Have a drink. Oh goodness, that did not drink. That did not drink much. The health did not restore too much. Now, again, it's been so long I don't remember how I fought him. I want to say I usually just kicked him off the edge though. Oh, he has a parry. I forgot he even had that. Can you parry two-handed attacks in this game? Can you parry weapon arts? I don't actually remember. You know, we'll go into the shrine real quick. Just so we have a closer checkpoint. Here we are. Firelink Shrine. And there's our Firekeeper, who we will ignore for a moment. Yeah, back to PvP. It's like, it's fine to enjoy it and take it seriously. Just, I'm not going to, because it's so fundamentally flawed that if I'm going to be doing PvP, I would rather do a game that's balanced and designed for PvP and does it well. Granted, I can't think of many examples at the moment other than, say, Titanfall 2. But, you know, it's fine. People enjoy what they enjoy, and that's absolutely okay. You know what, let's try kicking them off the edge here. He got me. We showed him though. When in doubt, kick. Give him the kick. East-west shield. Oh, hello. No. Leave me in peace, my children. I care not for your woes. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, if I remember correctly, reloading should make the item spawn where we want it to be. So, again, let's go from here. And then you could go and talk to Snuggly, and maybe you could trade something. Yeah, there's an Uchi Katana you can get right at the start of the game. Very good weapon. Katanas in general, like I said, they've always been good in Souls. The developers of this game are Japanese, after all, and the Uchi Katana is a Japanese weapon, so they gotta represent the homeland by making katanas OP. Homeward Bone. Homeward Bone's used to teleport back to the last checkpoint you were at. I believe the jump is up there, so we have to go around the other way. A dog. No matter what the game, dogs are always the worst enemies. That was the worst jumping attack I've ever seen. My feet didn't even leave the floor. Why am I struggling to jump attack? There we go. It's such a simple input too, just forward and right trigger, but my character was like, no. Inputs in the Souls games have been, I'm not going to say imprecise, but sometimes they definitely were strange because they would stack, or they would sort of queue them up in a very bizarre manner. But, yes, this is our hub area. A few things we can do here. Where am I thinking? You see, there's an area, I think it's right here as a matter of fact, where you can do a very special jump. This is one of the few little things I do remember. Now, if I remember correctly, it's like something like this. Wow, I did that. I mean, I'm no speedrunner, I didn't do it perfectly, but I remember one time it took me like 50 goes. But yeah, it's a way to get up here earlier than you are intended to. And if I remember correctly, but we can use it to go inside. Can we get higher up? You know, I genuinely can't remember. I think there's a hidden wall somewhere in here, though. You know, people who are, like, into Dark Souls 3 a lot more and, you know, play all the time probably...
Me, pickled pea. Me, bumperum.
Yeah, they're probably going to be upset over how many things I'm missing and forgetting. But that's okay. Leave them in the comments and then other people will learn. Is our bird, which you can't actually see, but the birds have been in most of the games. You trade with them. The pee pee poo poo man. Oh, goodness me. What can we drop for this? I almost said cat. I want to say dropping a homeward bone got you something. Yeah, it's a bit of Solaire's set. And let's drop a bomb. Can't go wrong with a large Titanite shard. I wonder if dropping an Estus shard gets you something. But that's too rare for us to do. An Ember, though? We can drop an Ember. Oh, okay. You don't want the Ember. You think the Ember would be the best thing of all? Well, whatever. I knew there was a hidden wall up here somewhere. I think just the one. And we get a ring here? Yes, the covetous Silver Serpent ring. The covetous Silver Mont ring. Now, I believe the equipment load in this game, if you're under 70%, you'll be fast rolling, as it were. But, I mean, if we take everything off, we can roll faster still. Just the differences aren't as pronounced as in other games. Whatever, it's all good. I don't believe you can even upgrade armor in this game, but alright, let's talk to some NPCs and then we'll call it for this part, as I've probably been going for an hour. Holy King Lothric, last hope of his line. Yeah, we can see every throne. Ludlith, the Exiled. This one's Yorm's, right? Damn. Saint Aldrich of the Deep. Okay, hang on. This one's Yorm, the big one. Yes. And then this one is the Undead Legion. Watchers of the Abyss. Very good. But as you can see, the thrones are all empty. Save one.
O thou unkindled, and a seeker of lords, I am Ludlith of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my child course. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look. Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast fading flame must be licked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus. Knowest thou of our father Aeon's I? Now, do not be away overlong.
So he gives you the basic premise here, which had already been explained, but when the fire needs to be linked, those who previously linked it, such as this little fella, they will be resurrected, called back from the grave to come here and sacrifice themselves, essentially, to link the flame. Why you need 5 of them when originally 1 was enough is presumably because, of course, this isn't him in his prime. He's a corpse now, so you could say most of his energy is gone, you might say. Because over the course of, let's say Dark Souls 1 as an example, over the course of your journey in Dark Souls 1, you are accumulating all of this soul energy, which presumably is then being used to link the fire. But this time, only little Ludlith has showed up. And he may be a pygmy? He doesn't seem to have legs, or he's sitting on them, but I'm sure someone talented has extracted his model and T-posed it to see if he really has legs or not, but anyway, let's talk to the rest of our companions who are here. Oof. Well, we'll fill up the shrine as we go, but I think for now we only have the 3.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. you require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose. Weapons and protection are sturdy enough by and large, but when overused, they'll eventually break. When their durability is low, repair becomes a necessity. Use a powder, or simply rest at a bonfire. But should chance impel them break, bring them me. I'll hammer them back into shape. They take no pleasure in breaking, I assure ye. So handle them with care, if you would. There are two ways to smith weapons. Simple reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element. Reinforcement requires titanite, and infusion requires gems. Bring the stones, and I'll do the smithing. It's my purpose, after all. In battle, your weapons are your only friends. Forge them well, and they won't let you down. Another matter. Infusing weapons with gems requires a special kind of coal. My humble coals won't be any use infusing more unusual gems. I know, it's an awful shame, but it's all I have. Oh, please don't give me that look. Believe it or not, I'm quite thin-skinned. Oh, by the by, if you find any Estus shards, bring them here. They can be used to reinforce either of your Estus flasks. Without those flasks, you'd want for life or focus. And they'll always stay with you. Why not treat them well? Huh? Weapons and but they so.
Well, he more or less gives you a great explanation of everything he can do for you. He can upgrade your weapons, which just makes them, you know, do more damage and sometimes improves the scaling. Scaling is, how do I... You see here, attribute bonus. Basically, this one will go from D to C, which basically means, let's say you have an A rank scaling for strength. The higher your strength, the more damage the weapon will do, on top of its base damage. Very important to know. Infusing is changing the properties of it, so I can make my longsword a fire longsword, a raw longsword which won't scale but will have higher base damage. So if I was playing at level 1, for example, that might be useful. Then a refined one improves the scaling of both strength and dex. He can repair stuff if it breaks. Can change how much our Estus is balanced. We'll go... Right now I don't think we really need any blue Estus. That's what recharges your FP, your magic, shall we say.
Pretty be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Indeed, that is Andre of Astora, returning from the first game. Is it the actual Andre of Astora? Or is it like a simulacrum? Is it a version of him that has been brought back? That's what I would assume, because he's always talking about his purpose. He's very driven, and I feel like, yes, in a sense, he is kind of... not quite a puppet. Not quite like a robot. But not quite the original either. And here we have our crestfallen knight, Awkward, in this game.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends, with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think? What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. We're talking true legends, those who would link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. What a sick bastard.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side. Ashen one, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen one, bring me souls plucked from their vessels. Ashen one, farewell, Ashen one. May the flames guide thee.
See, I don't know if every undead is able to do that, or what, but that has always been the implication I got. You're taking souls, and you're putting them inside yourself. You're fusing them to your body. Makes your soul stronger and larger, and thusly more suitable for linking the fire. At least that's how I looked at it. I forgot about her.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont, no? Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death? Knowest thou of that soppy gossip? That cordial intrusion layeth the path to embers? And so thou art in need of a soapstone, Ashen One. Then thy pockets will overflow with souls to trade to me. Ashen One, bring... Is it... Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
Yes, indeed. The peculiar granny NPC who just laughs at everything. I mean, that's Souls NPCs in a nutshell. They say something slightly ominous and then go ha 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 ha. They always have like a weird laugh. But she basically was explaining about co-op. She's saying, yeah, do co-op with other players, get more souls, and give them to me. Presumably, souls ease the suffering of the undead curse in, Dark Souls 1 and 2. And in Dark Souls 3, the curse doesn't really play as big of a role, per se. But the souls presumably still offers some sort of relief or some other benefit. Now, what is she selling here? Well, there's a soapstone. She's got nothing in particular I think we really need off the bat. Yeah, yes, indeed. But, yep, that's going to do it for our introduction to part 1. Goodness me. I have no idea how long that was. Way too long, probably. However, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2, where we'll get going. Till then, take care.